£90 and Borough.
Well, that was absolutely cat.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to Dazzle's Football Stand this evening. It's Monday night. It's a beautiful day here in Middlesbrough. It's great. Anyways, hope you all doing very well indeed. It's Monday night. We're back with the usual this week in football. I will just say, with regard to the show, it's not certain it's going to be going on again next season. Obviously with loads of things, but I don't know. I'll let you know in due course. It might not be carrying on into next season, so we don't know what's going on as of yet. But hope you're all doing well anyways. Thanks everyone for joining us. Got quite a lot to get through today, as I'm sure you can tell by the thumbnail, which I made this morning. So that's been fun. We've got a lot to talk about. I've got the European semi-finals and the final. We've got the FA Cup final coming up this weekend as well. Got the EFL season. That's obviously the EFL season's finished now. And we've got teams playing in the playoffs, as well as the Premier League still going on as well. The Premier League obviously getting towards the nitty-gritty stuff, isn't it? Getting towards the end of the season. And all the teams are, at the minute, still battling it out for place in the top 4, in the top 6, and at the minute still the title race, as well as the bottom 3, because there's still one team yet to go down. So we'll get into an interesting part of the season now. We are literally just over about 13 days away from finishing the entire Premier League season. So we've got a lot to talk about. I will get straight into things. But before we do, of course, let's introduce the panel. And for those who haven't watched this before, then you won't know who these are. But if you have watched the streams by now, then you'll know who they are by now. But just to reiterate, at the top right, we got Mr. Lee, we got Mr. Plymouth guy, and Mr. Liam Martin. We got Mr. Owen Coyle down the left, and we've got Garrick down the right-hand side, and of course me up here. So, of course, I did actually send a message saying who's available today, and I said I'm available. Funny enough, I hope so. Otherwise, how the hell's the show going to happen? Let's have a look at the comments. Not much in the comments. I'm determined to get through all 10 comments today. Let's have a look. Joe Jumping, Habee, Chris Redding, Scotty B, hello, famous man. Good, nice to see you back. Bet you had your dinner already. Yeah, I had some cheese, ham and chicken wraps about 4 o'clock. 1 minute late, tough. Found out a secret in a Disney movie is in another of my fave shows. That's nice. As you know, famous man, I'm cooking. Good. What are you cooking? Well, food, probably. Naughty Brandon. Brandon Williams sticking his middle finger up at Norwich. Yeah, clearly doesn't want to play for Norwich. I'm not surprised with the situation they're in. Vote on Borough v Coventry. Borough v Coventry? You mean Preston? One word, cack. Making thumbnails late, lol. Nothing new there. Daz, Liam, Garrick and Owen, hello. Oh, you actually spelt your name correct this time. Anyone else? No? Well, me. I'll be on Liam soon. Yeah, we're going to be finishing the stream about 7:15 at the latest, hopefully, as me and Liam are doing the game between Sheffield Wednesday and Kakiland. Who's going to win, Cackland or Sheffield? Hopefully Sheffield. Don't want them in the final. I'll be on Liam soon. Yes, I'm joining them. Any jokes? I'll tell some in a bit, maybe. Wilder said he bloody hates Paddy McNair after that red card. Well, silly red card, to be honest with you. You eat your dinner so early? Tough. I do what I want, mate. It's my life. I do what I want. English fishy. Oh, you're having fish and chips, right? Good. That's nice. Thought there was something fishy going on. Who's Liam? No idea. Gareth must have had a great weekend. Yeah, he was just saying off camera. Yes, was just saying off camera that he enjoyed the weekend.
Yeah,
I didn't. No results went my way this weekend. Oh, have you on about the names? No. No, I've turned the names off. So yeah, we don't have the names. We don't have our names coming up on the screen like we used to. I turned that off. Upcoming streams. There's Sodal. The FA Cup final on Saturday. Yeah, FA Cup final on Saturday. And I don't know, but not much at the moment. So yeah, there's not much. Tell the lads about the doorbell trend. Oh God. No, I don't think so. Thank you very much.
I'm interested now.
Yeah.
Family. Scotty sent me a message yesterday saying that apparently, I don't know if it was reported or something in Norwich, but apparently there was something to do with kids in Norwich. Apparently, there was kids in Norwich apparently using their teachers' tits as doorbells.
Oh, okay. I wish I hadn't asked now.
Precisely. That's why I was a bit reluctant to tell you first on the stream. So
what a weird world.
I know. This is on the 2022. Setting Brighton did the business against Man United. Yes, we know that. Hello, Grant, talking to the stream. If you have just joined, you're watching Daz's Football Stand. It's in London mainly. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. London's a crap area sometimes. Oh my God, kids do some weird things, don't they just? Yes. It wasn't 5-0 Brighton, it was 4-0. It could have been 5. But, there you go.
Could have been fun.
Like a started, Jesus. There was hopefully he won't be in Middlesbrough now. Anyone under 18, click off now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm 16. So.
You asked, so I said, didn't I? I was looking to tell you. There you go. Tell them about the kid who got kicked out of school for doing it to the head teacher. No, mate, this isn't the No, this isn't teachers episode. This isn't a teachers episode, is it? Here you go. Anyway, let's get on with the show. So starting off with the European final side, Rangers are getting themselves to the UEFA Europa League final, first European final in I think probably 40, 50 years. It's been a long time since they've got into a final. I thought you were family friendly. Well, supposed to be, but you know, things change. I mean, we don't do swearing on the stream mostly. So I swear doorbells you click
unless Niall's there.
Still got. You don't go on about doorbells. Bloody hell. God. Got a one like the clappers at the end of this. Right, ding dong. Yes. Anyways, ding dong, the witch is dead. That's from the Wizard of Oz. That is, for anyone who hasn't watched Wizard of Oz. Anyways, so Rangers get into a Europa League final for once, which is quite an achievement for them, really, isn't it? West Ham, on the other hand, fell short against Frankfurt. They went down to 10 men. Aaron Clifwell again getting sent off in the knockout stages. That red card really cost them. They conceded literally 6 minutes after through Raphael Bauer, who's had a magnificent season for Eintracht Frankfurt. Rangers take on Eintracht Frankfurt in the final. It could have been Rangers West Ham, but it wasn't to be, was it, in the end? But for West Ham, it was start for West Ham, obviously. A certain David Moyes has insisted that the players look at the positives, take all the positives into next season, and not focus too much on the negative side. I mean, we're not West Ham fans, but from a neutral perspective, West Ham have really took the Europa League seriously. They knew this was an opportunity for them to get far in the competition and obviously get themselves possibly into the final. They've come up against some really, really good sides. They've come up against some really good sides. Dinamo Zagreb, a good side, top team in Croatia, knocked out Spurs, didn't they? Was it last season as well? They've also played Sevilla in 2 legs. Lyon, who hadn't lost at the time, were unbeaten in the tournament. And then they've took on Eintracht Frankfurt, and it just ended up being 1 game too many. But for West Ham, it's been a memorable tournament, hasn't it? I think they can be certainly proud of their achievements.
Yeah. They would have liked to get to the final, and to be fair, I think they would have beaten Rangers as well. So, they'll be gutted, but I mean, the fact they got to the semi-final, and they were still in the tie. I mean, apart from Swell got sent off, they were still in the tie anyway. Yeah, I mean, it was good from them. To be fair, it's been a good season. If they can get into Europa League again, I mean, their fans, I think they would have taken that. They would have snapped your hand off for that probably. The start of the season, just Frankfurt were just too good for them in the end. But I think they can be proud of themselves.
Yeah, and also they've don't forget they knocked out the Carabao Cup holders Man City as well. They've done really well this season, West Ham United, and they're close to getting themselves a European spot. I know they haven't obviously they didn't get to the final, which obviously they won't have been too chuffed about. But if you look at it, they've got through the Europa League group stage, through the knockouts, come up against some big teams. Sevilla, the record holders. Lyon, good side, come up against Frankfurt, a very good side as well. I mean, I'm starting to have a dip in form now at the moment in the league. But they've come up against some, big names. They've come up against some good sides. People don't rate the Europa League, but if you look at some of the teams in there, you come up against teams like Sevilla and Lyon. A team like United would get beat to them at the minute. They are very tough sides to come up against, certainly in that sort of competition. It's very competitive. I think, to be honest, the Europa League is more competitive than the Champions League. Personally, I mean, very debatable, but I feel like there's more competition. There's a lot more competition, certainly with the teams that have maybe never been in Europe. Burnley, if you remember Burnley, when they had the likes of Aberdeen, etc., in the qualification rounds. The qualification rounds with the smaller clubs, very, very, very competitive. And then obviously you got Rangers. Rangers, you look at some of the teams they've come up against. RB Leipzig, a very, very good club. Say good club, very good side, not a great club, obviously with the oil money. But they're a good side, really good side. Christopher Nkunku having a good season for them. They've come up against Braga twice in the group stage and in the knockouts. Remarkable comeback from them. Braga took them to extra time. West Ham and Rangers have had some really tough games. I think, and the fact that Rangers got to the final, it's an unbelievable achievement, and it's a great. It's what would I say? It's a great spectacle for Scottish football, if I would say that, if I've said that correctly. But can Rangers go and beat Eintracht Frankfurt?
Obviously, every game's going to be tough. They're both going to be going for this, but I've got to say, comment on what you're saying about how competitive it is. I think it definitely gives teams a lot more opportunities to play in Europe and completely go for it. As you said, we saw with Burnley, although they didn't go that far. I mean, arguably, Rangers playing a team, playing a league that are maybe arguably Championship level or maybe lower Premier League level. And they're in the Europa League final against Frankfurt. But I think finals can go either way. I don't. It's a final. It's like a rivalry. You can't, wherever you are in the league, you can't really go on the form or anything like that. It just gets wiped out.
Yeah. Liam, any thoughts?
I mean, like you said, I mean, Rangers could cause an upset against Leverkusen, but I mean, I don't see it. I mean, fair play to Rangers, so getting to the final. I'd thought they'd lose in the semis, but yeah, I mean, can they win the final? Could do, but I do see. I just don't see them winning the final, to be fair. But it's a good achievement from them getting to the final, though.
It's a big ask. I mean, it's a big ask for them. You know, but I think with Rangers, I mean, Van Bronckhorst, I think that's his name. A manager that I think a lot of people didn't know too well or didn't know too much about. It's the same with you know, Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard's first managerial job was at Rangers, and he got them the league title. Now, got them to finals. Didn't get them too far in Europe, but he got them the title. So it seems like a lot of these managers that not a lot of people know too much about, and I don't know too much about Van Bronckhorst. But what I've known from this season is, along with Andrzej Posteglu, whatever his name is, who manages Celtic, they're both managers who won't take anything but a win. And Rangers have had, I think, you compare them, the games that they've had to West Ham in the tournament, people might look at the games and say, oh, well, Rangers have had an easier running to the final. But I don't know. I would say I'd be inclined to sort of disagree a bit, because you look at the teams they've come up against. Borussia Dortmund, top side in Germany, you know, they absolutely torn them apart. They beat them 6-4 in aggregate. You know, they won 4-2 in Germany. And it's a very tough place, certainly in the European competition, very tough place to go to the Signal Iduna Park. You know, and to score 4 goals away from home at the Signal Iduna Park is, I don't even think Bayern have done that in ages. You know, not many teams do that, score 4 goals at Dortmund. It's a very tough place to go. They've took on Crvena Zvezda, one of the toughest places to go in Europe, because they've got one of the most hostile atmospheres in the world, probably in Europe and probably in the world. They're a strong side. They're a strong team in Serbia. They've got a really, really hostile fan base. Braga, they've had to come back from 1-0 down in the first leg. They did that. And then Leipzig, they came from 1-0 down again and won the second leg. You know, the reason they've got to the final is not really all down to the teams that they come up against. It's all down to their performances, their determination, and their character to come back, not just once, but to come back twice. It is pretty remarkable. It's got to be said, it's pretty remarkable that the character that they've got in that squad. To come back, you know, from a goal down, 2 knockout games on the bounce. I'm pretty sure the only team that have actually come back from like 1 or 2 goals down. I mean, it happened with Bother. I don't know if you remember back in Owen might remember, because I think he's.
Oh, in
2006 when we played Bad and then Steaua Bucharest. We came back from 2-0 down on aggregate against Basel. No, 3. No, we did it even better. We were 3-0 down on aggregate against Basel and Steaua Bucharest. But when we played against them on aggregate, the second legs were at home, which I suppose gives you an advantage, because then if you can get something away from them, you take that on board going into the home game. Sort of linking to last time when we said, do we think the first leg at home is better, or do we prefer the away leg first? And Boa are the same. They were away, lost 2-0 at Basel, and beat Basel 4-1 at the Riverside Stadium from 3-0 down in aggregate to winning 4-3. And then we did it again against Steaua Bucharest, only we were 2-0 down the first leg. No, we were 1-0. We were 1-0 down, conceded 2 goals. We went 2-0 down, and then came back to win 4-3 in aggregate. It's comebacks like that and comebacks like Rangers. To come back from a losing position, 2 knockout games on the bounce. When you know, if you have the lead going into second leg, you go in with confidence. If you don't, you go into the game, under a lot of pressure, because you've got to somehow claw back. And Rangers have done it. If any team deserves to win it this season, it probably is Rangers. And that's in no disrespect at all to Frankfurt. But Frankfurt haven't had to come back from losing positions. I mean, they did win. I mean, they went 3-0 up at the new camp. They knocked out one of the biggest names in world football, Barcelona. And then West Ham, they've knocked out West Ham as well, we know West Ham are a quality side this season. So whoever wins the final, I think, would be deserved. But for me, I think if Rangers win it, it'll be one of the biggest stories in Europa League history. It's like when Fulham got to the final, was 2010.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at a lot of Rangers, like people like John Lundstrom, like playing for them, like who, like he's a decent player in the Championship, and he played in the Premier League a bit, but like for Sheffield United, but he's not exactly like a lot of their players are kind of players who haven't really had that much experience at like the top level of like English football, and they're not considered top players. But as a team, they play really well. Like someone like Tavernier, I mean, he's having an amazing season.
He's magnificent.
Is it James? No, it's not James, is it?
James Tavernier, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Plays for Boba.
Okay, yeah.
I had to laugh. I don't know if you saw this, but I think I don't know if it was 433 on Instagram. Put a photo with Frankfurt and Rangers, and instead of putting James Tavernier, we put Marcus Tavernier on the photo. I said, I'm thinking that's the wrong Tav.
You think they'd be doing their research a bit better than that, but
yeah, did he put Marcus Tavernier instead of James Tavernier? And I was like, oh, dear me, how embarrassing is that? I mean, I never knew Marcus Tavernier played for Rangers. But I mean, you could imagine him and James Tavernier both playing great partnership. Yeah. The both brothers. So that would be good.
Wait, which one?
I was just about to say, I thought you'd gone for your tea there. Sorry, carry on, what you saying?
You were just saying about 2 Taverniers. I was just going to say. So Taverniers on the board. Which one?
Which one? Yeah. It's like with when the 2 Pogbas played against each other, and the commentator said Pogba's on the ball, and if you're not watching the game, you're thinking, well, which one?
On the radio, yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the radio. Rangers all the way going to win. Well, it'd be quite an achievement for them if they did that. I don't think they've ever won have they ever won a European trophy? Or if they have, been a long time ago.
They might have done like 50 years ago.
Back in
or something.
Yeah. Well, coming for Plymouth, Liam, says Nick. Hi all, no more lay chance until July. Expect Rangers in the final though. Yep. Except, I think you put expect Rangers there. You mean accept. Food question here. What goes with fish? Ketchup or mayo? And what goes with potatoes? I just have fish and chips with some salt and pepper and tomato sauce.
I have if it's fish and chips, I'd have ketchup probably, and maybe some vinegar as well.
Yeah, I'd go vinegar for chips.
I don't like vinegar, so that's I don't. Knock, I'm not in. Talk to us about the Real Madrid comeback. Yeah, that leads me on to the Champions League.
That was amazing.
That was pretty remarkable. The fact that he scored 2 goals in a minute. Man City,
the best hour and a half of my life.
Yeah. You mean the best? You mean the best 37 minutes? Because Man City were leading. Man City took the lead through Riyad Mahrez, went 2 goals ahead on aggregate. Rodrigo comes on and becomes the hero of the hour, and then Benzema scores a penalty in extra time. It's another remarkable Real Madrid comeback because they came back as well. I mean, Real Madrid deserve to win, personally. I mean, I'm not saying Liverpool don't deserve to win it. You know, Liverpool, both teams deserve to be in the final, to be honest with you. Real Madrid, for me, I mean, people will say I'm biased, but the fact that they've come back against teams like PSG, they've come back against PSG, you know, Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, all frauds. They've come back from 2 goals down now against them. They could have been about 3 goals down, actually, against PSG. They came back and, went through 3-2. They took on Chelsea and unbelievably, even though they were 3-1 up in the first leg, cocked up in the second leg, went 3-0 down, and again came back and won. And then against Man City, they've come back from 2 goals down on aggregate to win. What's to say that they're not going to, that if Liverpool score the first goal in the final, that Real Madrid aren't going to come back? Because every knockout game they've played, they've come back from losing positions.
Yeah,
It's been this season, and I know I was saying about when Liverpool and Spurs both got to the Champions League final against Ajax, coming back from 2-0 down, and obviously, from 3-0 down, and then obviously come from 3-0 down against Barcelona. We were saying that was one of the most remarkable scenes in Champions League. For me, I think this season tops it. I think this has been the most remarkable Champions League campaign that I've seen for a long, long time. And not just because of Real Madrid's incredible comebacks. You know.
I ain't doing it. I can't bother doing it.
But the likes of Villarreal. Villarreal have been a surprise package this season. Did well in the group stage. Coming in as the Europa League champions. They've knocked out big teams like Juve and Bayern. And then they just fell short of Liverpool because their goalkeeper decided he wasn't going to play.
That was shocking.
Well, one thing I will say is the only team to have Liverpool and United are the only teams to have completed a double against them this season. A team that we had a habit of not winning against. But it's been a magnificent campaign. I mean, Benfica have done really well. I mean, they did get a reality check against Liverpool. Man City coming through against Sporting. I don't think anyone really expected Sporting to get to the knockout stage. Barcelona and Dortmund. I don't think anyone expected any of them to drop into the Europa. City managing to scrape through against Atletico Madrid in the 2 semi-finals. 2 of the best semi-finals that we've seen in a long time, and all for different reasons.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that because in the 2019 Champions League, 2018-19, whatever it was, the ones you remember are the ones near the end. And in both semi-finals, we saw a comeback from 3-0 in the first leg with Liverpool against Barcelona. Then we had the one with Spurs, which was even better when they scored late on. They made a comeback in just one half, scored 3 goals in one half to get that. And then I think before we had where City thought they scored the last-minute winner to get to the semis, then it was ruled out by VAR. That season was honestly incredible for the Champions League. But I have seen really good games. I saw the season before Real Madrid equalising against Juventus from 3-0 to 3-3, and then Ronaldo got penalty late on. That was good. But yeah, I think it's got to be one of the ones up there from what you're saying. But that definitely that City Real Madrid game seemed unreal when we first saw it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I remember watching the Spurs City game, and then the Spurs Ajax game, and it almost seemed like too good to be true that season. But yeah, I mean, that one, like, it was like Bayern 99 P9 when like Ben's like scoring 2 goals in literally like a minute. You know, like that game, I thought I was going to turn it off. I was like, "See, this is it. City have won it. It's just, you know, it's going to be a walkover." But there, yeah, I mean, it just shows the Champions League over till it's over. Like literally, it's one of those competitions where you can rest until literally the final whistle's gone. But I can't lie. I was kind of hoping Liverpool didn't make the final as well, but unfortunately, as you said, Rudy had an absolute mare. So yeah, it was just one of them. But I mean, I'm quite happy City didn't make the final anyway. But
Yeah.
And of course, like Benzema scoring the winner, like he just had this season. He's been. I think he might get the Ballon d'Or if Real Madrid win the Champions League. I think he'll get the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
It's just in the post.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true. I think we're all glad City aren't in it. I mean, we could have done with Real Madrid Villarreal final. It would have been brilliant. But
yeah, definitely.
It is what it is. Speaking of finals, I think that brings me swiftly on to the FA Cup final, which is coming up this weekend. The repeat of the Carabao Cup final, Chelsea against Liverpool. Now, in English competitions, you know, I can cope with Liverpool, Chelsea, etc. In the competitions like the Champions League, etc. You don't want all English finals, you know, because they sometimes get pretty boring, you know. The Carabao Cup final, for me, was one of the best 0-0 finals I've seen. Because there was loads of drama, there was loads of controversy. VAR getting involved in it. There was goals getting chopped off. There was 4 offside goals. You know, the penalty shootout went to was it 11-10 or something? And it shows, and it's shown this for a while now, that the 11th penalty taker is always the unluckiest one. The 22nd pen taker is always the unluckiest one. Because De Gea was the 22nd pen taker against Villarreal. He missed. And Kepa was the 22nd pen taker against Liverpool in the final and blazed it to Mars. You know, it seems like number 22 in the penalty shootout is unlucky at the minute. But do you think we're going to see a repeat of the Carabao Cup final? I mean, obviously, I don't think we'll see 4 offside goals, but do you think we'll see a final that was as competitive and as entertaining as that Carabao Cup final?
I think so. I mean, and the thing is that I think that final back in was it
February?
Yeah, February. I remember. I think Chelsea were the better team in that game. They just didn't take their chances. They had a load ruled out for offside. And I hope it's the same again, but they actually take them. But yeah, I think it will be like end to end again because Liverpool always play like that, and then Chelsea don't really park the bus that much. But I think they have a better chance of winning if they park the bus. But I mean, I just hope it's entertaining. To be honest, I just hope it's end to end. You know, they will need to start scoring goals, Chelsea, at some point. I know Lukaku's got 2 the weekend, which is astonishing. But I think, to be honest, like sometimes I look at Havertz and Pulisic and Werner and just think they're not scoring enough. So to beat Liverpool, they're going to have to score. But yeah, it should be good. It should be good, really. And obviously, there's the magic of the cup as well. Who knows what could happen?
True. Just to let you know, by the way, the FA Cup top scorer, which is Mask United Adam Boyes, is going to become the first ever non-league player, I think, in FA Cup history, to be the FA Cup top scorer and the Golden Ball winner. He will be leading the teams out on Saturday. So the two teams on Saturday will be led out by Mask United's number 9, Mr. Adam Boyes, and he will collect the Golden Ball award, unless, of course, Sadio Mane somehow scores 7. He's on a magnificent tally of 11 goals. And I should say all 11 goals were scored in the qualification rounds.
I just got Rodby.
They ain't gonna do these. He ain't gonna score. Big up, guys. Sorry I can't join tonight. Had some terrible news. Oh dear. I hope everything's all right, mate. No problems there. Did you hear about? Did you hear about the? Yeah, did you hear about the fight in the local chip shop? Yeah, 2 fish got battered. A few potatoes got chipped as well.
No.
So, there you go. Just to let you know, by the way, not football related, but 77 years ago yesterday marked the end of World War II. Germany waved the white flag of surrender. Germany surrendered, and the United Kingdom came out on top in the Second World War. So yesterday marked 77 years since World War II had ended. Not football related, but of course, happy VE Day to everyone, or happy belated one. Funny enough, I think Liam and Owen have literally just gone for dinner now. That's hilarious. Everyone's having dinner at the exact same time. I had some food before I actually came on the air. This guy in the chat here, by the way, opinions on Haaland to Man City. Well, it's looking like it's going to be done at some point. Say probably be. I'll just remove them. It's down to us too. But I think if Haaland does go to Man City, I think it'll be a good signing for them, because it's a signing that they've been wanting to do for a while. City have been looking to try and sign the likes of Erling Haaland for absolutely ages. 75 million euro release clause, which is equivalent to about 65 million in quid or pound or whatever, in pounds. So it's about 65 million quid. Then do it too, yeah. So 65 million quid for a top player in the Bundesliga. Will he be any good in the Premier League?
Well, I think the first thing I'll say is 65 million seems really cheap. I'm sure Dortmund must have felt a little bit disappointed that they maybe put a too low release clause in.
He was about 120 million at one point.
Yeah. 65 million, they probably don't think they've got their money's worth. But I think it'll be. I think the Premier League is definitely a step up for Haaland. The Premier League is called the best league in the world for a reason. It has the best players. It has the best quality teams. It's going to be a step up. And to be honest, I hope he's not as good as people think he is. So that, because obviously Brighton in the league.
Well, yeah, you never know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, he don't believe he's had Prem experience. He's gone from being a player at RB Salzburg and then going to Dortmund, become a top player at Dortmund. Same with Jadon Sancho, really, isn't it? Really, Jadon Sancho went to Dortmund. Not many people knew if he was that good. He was a young prospect. He's now one of the best right midfielders. Well, maybe one of the best right midfielders in Europe. That was until he came to Manchester United. And now he probably isn't. But he's a top, the likes of him and Haaland were magnificent together at Dortmund. And these days, for Dortmund, Dortmund are relying on him a lot. But I think all teams these days rely on individual players. But I would say the full team, should be having a go. It shouldn't be all down to one specific player because it can't. You can't rely on one specific player. It's like people say that Bayern rely on Levy all the time. Not the case. Because Bayern have got players like Muller and Gnabry, and Koeman and Musiala, a good player, Jim Morton, etc. We got players that can step up to the mark. But with Dortmund have only got the likes of, at the minute, Jude Bellingham, Marco Reus, and probably Haaland are like their three only good players in attack. Without Reus and Haaland, I think Dortmund would be absolutely garbage. Their defence isn't good either. They have made some new defensive signs. They've stole Niklas Süle from Bayern, and have also took Nico Schlotterbeck from Freiburg, who are doing really well. So they're getting rid of good players, but they're bringing in some good players in positions that they need. And that's really what United need to do. United bring in players that they just don't need. Same with Man City. City have bought players in that they haven't needed in the past. If you're going to buy players, bring players in that you're definitely going to use and you're definitely going to need. In the positions that you feel in probably your weakened positions. If you're weaker in defence, go for some better defenders. And teams like City before have signed players, have signed attackers, and they don't need attackers because their attackers are good enough. But a lot of it's all down to squad depth. I mean, Haaland up front with Sterling and Mahrez would be a very interesting front three.
I think as a player, I think moving to City maybe isn't the best move for your career. Maybe brilliant good for your finances, but I don't think not as much for your playing career, because you look at the depth in that team. You got now Haaland and Jesus up top, and I'm assuming they only play one up top, so his game time might well be fairly limited, with Jesus pushing in there as well. If there's I'm sure there's maybe a couple of other players that I've forgotten about. But talking about United, what should we go for the 4-0?
Well, yeah. In fairness to you, you got 100%. You got what you deserved. We didn't turn up. We didn't. I mean, there were a few occasions where I thought we were going to score, but Robert Sanchez. I mean, for me, has been a great keeper for you this season. And then obviously your attack. And I've said before, and I'll say it again. Leandro Trossard needs to be starting practically every game for you, because he's one of your most creative players. I mean, I'm not a Brighton fan. I don't watch all the Brighton games, so you might disagree, but that's fair enough because you watch Brighton week in, week out. I don't. But for me, I think Leandro Trossard is a quality player.
He's one of those players where he'll have a good run, and this is where he's on his good run. Obviously, Wolves, Spurs, Arsenal, and now United. He scored in all four of them. But there are other spells he has where he doesn't do so well. But I do see where you're coming from. He's definitely picking up some form. But we do have some decent depth as well in the team. We've got to fit other players around. I mean, Solly, we got it across the wings. Generally, how we play is we seem to rotate a lot around like March, Cucarella, Lancey, and giving all of them game time at the same time is so hard, which is probably why maybe his game time's maybe a little bit limited. But I see where you're coming from. Trossard has probably had his best season so far since coming to us.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, For me, I just think his technicality. It's his technicality really. He's creative. He's good on the ball, and he knows where the goal is. But obviously, it seems like from what you've just said, it seems like he's similar to majority of the current Premier League footballers who, get starts and a bit inconsistent, have good spells and then bad spells. Ronaldo's had that. Bosch at Mask has done that before. He's scored. Well, Adam Boyes has scored well over 40 goals for Mask. But February time he was still scoring, and then come March, April time he barely scored. So it's all right having good runs of form, but if you can't continue being consistent, then that's a bit of a problem. But no, I would definitely say Trossard's one of your quality players. Bissouma as well, by the way, is he is. Dare I say your best player this season? I think he's been magnificent. But I think there's other players in your squad that probably that could say have been brilliant for you. But Bissouma's certainly one of your top players. He was magnificent on Saturday. I think he's been good for you for the majority of this season. But against United, the likes of Bissouma, the likes of Trossard, Robert Sanchez, etc. We're all magnificent. Your squad were levels ahead of ours, and from a United perspective, it's pretty embarrassing to actually be saying that, because we've got a team that cost well over. Our squad probably in total cost well over 200 to 300 million in total. And you compare, and then you're losing 4-0, to Brighton and Hove Albion, and we got absolutely dominated. We got dominated by we didn't look like doing anything. We were lethargic. You fully got what you deserved, but a lot of United fans are saying that the fact that we've struggled both times to beat the teams like Norwich, teams like Burnley, teams like Leeds, etc. causes problems as well. A team like Manchester United, with the money that we have and the players that we've got, realistically, we shouldn't be losing. We shouldn't be losing to teams like Brighton, teams like teams like not Norwich, teams like Brighton, teams like who else? West Ham, Wolves, etc. We shouldn't be losing. I could understand. A lot of United fans could understand if we were losing to teams like Liverpool, Man City, maybe Chelsea, etc., because they're levels ahead of us. But Brighton aren't really anywhere near United's level. But at the moment, we're about as good as Norwich. So it's a very strange situation, really, for United at the minute.
Yeah. United really do need a huge overhaul with Ten Hag coming on. I don't know how much impact that's going to make. Obviously, when Rangnick came in, there was some huge hype about him being this manager that's going to save United. That didn't happen. I wonder if that's going to be the same with Ten Hag. But regarding Brighton's performance, Bissouma just holds the whole team together. Without Bissouma, we seem a little bit lost in midfield. I've seen some stat where it's like 15 games or something like that, where we haven't had Basuma this season. We've only won one of them. I'm not completely sure on that stat, but he is a vital player in the team. And if he does go this summer, which I think he will, which is unfortunate, I think it's going to take a while for us to adapt. Player of the season, I think you're looking at Mark Cucarella. Obviously, he scored against United. He's deserved that all season. Every single game, he puts in 100%. He's got such a high work rate, and I don't think there's a single game where he just hasn't performed well.
Yeah, Cucarella's been Cucarella. When I first saw that he went to Brighton, I thought, he's a good player in the league. Would he be cut out? Would he be good enough in the Premier League? And he's turned out to be probably one of your best signings. Because he has been magnificent down that left-hand side. And, I think come next season, if you can keep some of the players, I think if Brighton can keep a lot of the players that you've got at the moment,
where does Owen go?
And the likes of hey,
where does Owen go?
Dinner. you all went for dinner at the exact same time. But I'm just saying about Brighton there. For me, if Brighton can keep hold of the top quality players that you've got, and then next season, I know you haven't got too much in the way of cash. I don't think Brighton have got too much in the way of money financially. But if you can bring in some top quality players, I know it's a bit difficult to say that because there's all the top quality ones are pretty expensive. But if you can get in some good players that will strengthen the team, and continue to have that squad depth that you've got, I think you can go far, certainly with that team. Because after that performance against United, if you play like that again against teams, if you can play like that against it's difficult, but if you can play like that against all the big six sides, maybe not Liverpool, just too difficult to beat at the moment, so Man City, but, if you can do that against teams like Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, United, etc., I think Brighton could be looking at European places next season. I'm saying that now. We're not even at the end of the season, but if you can keep putting in performances like that, which is very difficult to do, obviously, in the Premier League, but if you can keep putting in performances like that and keep the top quality players that you've got, I think you can go somewhere.
Yeah, what was I going to say? I think the main aim for the summer must be keeping our key players. I think losing players like Basuma and March, I think especially like Solly March, I think he could be one of those players where we don't realise how good he was until he goes. And I think if we can get some decent recruitment in, we got Indad coming in the summer. If he turns out to be decent, we could well do it. This is what I was going to say. This season we've beaten Arsenal, we've beaten Spurs, we drew against Liverpool, so we have performed really well against the top six this season. I think West Ham are up there as well. We drew to them. We've got them in a couple of weeks' time, final day of the season. So a ninth place that's really solid for us. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but there is that chance. I think next season, if we want it, we can go for it.
Well, yeah. I don't see why not with the, Graham Potter, when he was, I think, at Swansea, no one waited him. Nobody waited him when he went to Brighton either. And he's gradually becoming one of the best Premier League managers at the minute. He's a quality manager. Yeah, I don't think he's won manager in a month because it's normally Billy Pep Guardiola or Klopp, etc. Get it? But I think if he can keep Brighton playing the way they are, and you can go on these good runs of forms, continuously. I mean, the run of form you're on is probably top 4 level.
Yeah.
You want a really good run of form. If he can get you far next season, if he can get you somewhere next season, if he can get you sort of similar position again, maybe even further challenge for the European spots, he could become one of the best modern Premier League managers. Because I think he's a top quality manager.
I think he's done a really good job at us. It's been a gradual build up for sure at Brighton, but the recruitment team or whoever it was that appointed Potter clearly had a vision. I saw about he took Ostersund's. I think there's some Norwegian team or something like that. Went all the way into the Europa League, and that's why he eventually went to Swansea. But my main concern is that he could leave at any point. Maybe there will be a huge sacking come the end of the season, or
that is. I don't think he won't get sacked.
No, I mean, no, not Potter, but I mean, if a big team's manager gets sacked, maybe if Conte leaves this season, I don't know. At Spurs, maybe he'll go over there. That's something I'm a bit concerned about. I wasn't under Houghton.
That's football managers in general. There's loads of different.
I mean, Houghton was loyal, but and I didn't expect him to go. But we basically stole Potter off Swansea, so why wouldn't a big club steal him off us? It works. It works always.
I think all the big clubs like United, the big clubs like City, Liverpool, Chelsea, etc., Spurs. All the big 6 clubs always seem to go for the big names. Now, Erik ten Hag for United, a lot of people. I wouldn't say he's a particularly. I don't think he's a particularly big name because he's never won. He's never won the Champions League. He hasn't won European trophies. But all these big teams go for the likes of Conte, likes of Mancini, Klopp, Pep, who was it? Pochettino, Ancelotti, etc. All these big names, and sometimes the big names, just because they're a big name and they've got history, doesn't mean that they're going to be any good. The thing with Ten Hag is Ten Hag's not a particularly, he's not one of the big names, around the world, because he hasn't got a lot of European success or anything, unlike Carlo Ancelotti, Zidane, etc. But Ten Hag is a manager that a lot of people know, because he's one of those managers, a bit like, he's similar to Alex Fergie. He won't accept anything other than a win. It's the sort of manager that United really need. A manager that can give him a kick in the backside, bring in the right players, and he's wanting to, when he comes in anyway, I think he said he wants to bring in Anthony and Timber. So 2 good players from Ajax. Anthony's at the minute becoming a quality player. Timber's not a particularly big name. But sometimes you don't have to go for all these big names, all these, high-priced players. If you go for, as Niall said, the other episode, it's all about going for the right players that are going to suit the team. Players like Bruno this season haven't suited the team. Bruno's been cacked this season. Sell everyone in that squad. I'm afraid United can't do that, sadly. I mean, there's some players in the United squad. Ronaldo, I think, will probably go. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. I think the likes of Varane will stay. I think the likes of Sancho will stay. The likes of Rashford, Maguire, Mata, Matic, etc. go. United need, for me, a younger squad. We need to for me, I think we need to build the squad around some of the youngsters, give some of the youngsters an opportunity. Ronaldo should take over as manager. I doubt he would ever do that, to be honest with you. Anyways, predictions for tonight's games. I'm going for a Sheffield Wednesday win, hopefully. Ideally 2-0. But you never know. I don't know if anyone's going to get back on. I don't know what's going on. United isn't a big club anymore.
Oh, I've got to get my charger. Give me a second.
Well, United are a big club. United are a big club. But we're a big club that have fallen apart. You know, Phil Dinosaur Jones needs to go. Oh, pink salmon boots, yeah. He should have gone there years ago, mate. Out with the United squad, right? Out with the United squad. Who should we keep and who should go?
Keep Ronaldo, keep Bruno, obviously.
Even though Bruno's been back all season.
Yeah. Who should go?
I can think of one player, you'll say. Oh, by the way, up your nose, everyone.
Who should? Wan-Bissaka, he can go. He's cack.
So that
Phil Jones, goodbye. Fred, bye.
Fred actually. I don't know. Fred's actually, for me, had a better season. He's had a better season than he did last season. Still not great, though. So I wouldn't disagree with that. Fridge.
Yeah.
I know he hasn't had a great season. No, Fred's not great, but he's had a better season. He's had a better this half of the season. He's been slightly better, but he's still woeful. He's nowhere near as good as the 50 million would say. Owen's back just in time. We'll just me and Liam were just discussing who should stay in the United squad and who should get kicked out the door.
Oh, bloody hell. I mean, we could be here all day saying who could be kicked out the door.
He said keep Bruno. He said keep Ronaldo, Bruno for one probably. Wan-Bissaka, he said, I would. I know he hasn't been that good this season, but I would say Luke Shaw. I'll keep Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Tellez can sod off his cack.
I think
so can Fridge.
What about Wan-Bissaka?
He can go.
Yeah, he hasn't played that much, has he, to be fair?
I don't know what's worse, Wan-Bissaka or Two-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka, Two-Bissaka, Three-Bissaka, Four.
That's 4 for style.
Hey, that's actually. I'm pretty sure there was a chant, wasn't there? Wan-Bissaka, Two-Bissaka, Three-Bissaka, 4.
Yeah, I think that was going to be the chant, wasn't it?
Yeah. Would you keep Cavani?
No, I don't think so, to be honest. I think we should get a new striker.
He does seem to make a bit of an impact when he plays, but the thing is, he's nearly ancient, so
we've already got Ronaldo. We can't have two strikers who have the average age of like 75, who have a combined age of like 75.
Yeah. Did you see the 1 Hag, 2 Hag chant? Or is it the 1 Hag, 2 Hag, all the way up to 10 Hag? Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Speaking of Ten Hag, we while you were gone having your dinner, me and Garrick were discussing the Brighton game, and I was saying that there was, Brighton were magnificent in that game, weren't they? We just didn't look like we had no creativity. In the final third, we didn't look like doing anything. Defensively, we were like a bunch of statues. We were just poor, weren't we? And Brighton fully deserved a win.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with that. I'd be deluded if I didn't agree with that, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard like analysing United games now because we've been crap for like this is most of the season, but I mean it feels like we've kind of like the team's just given up. It felt like when I was watching it yesterday that a lot of those players just didn't really look like they could be bothered. Like they look like they didn't really want to be there. No, I don't want to take anything away from Brighton because they were class. I mean, it was quite poetic actually that Caicedo got the first goal because obviously he's a United
The
fan.
man we were looking to sign.
Yeah, I heard. United almost signed it. It's come back to bite you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It seemed like it just summed it up really, and then the only thing that was left was for Welbeck to get a goal. I'm surprised he didn't.
I was half expecting that.
Yeah.
He scored against them last time, didn't he?
Oh no, he had a chance at Old Trafford. He had a chance, and at 1-0. I think.
Was it last season he scored at Old Trafford? I'm sure he scored at Old Trafford.
He scored. He's definitely scored against us for Arsenal to knock us out of the FA Cup.
I thought he scored for Brighton, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he might. It's probably has.
Will United win the Conference League next season?
Not sure.
Well, we'll have to see where we're actually at because if we're in the Europa League, even at the minute with the way the team is, next season's under Ten Hag is going to be a bit of a building season, isn't it? So I don't know if we'll take the European competitions sort of as seriously as we would. Hang on, breaking news. What's this? Oh, balls.
Breaking news about balls.
Erling Haaland's medical has been completed.
Oh, great!
Hey, woohoo!
Speaking of Haaland, do you think he'll be any good in the Prem?
Probably against small teams, yeah.
I'm guessing no. I'm guessing no about that answer.
Probably against the small teams, yeah, but against big teams, no.
Oh, so against United then.
You would think.
You'd probably United.
We do seem to forget the Bundesliga is a farmers league. I mean, look at it. Bayern if you won 10 years in a row.
Let's just
did it against Dortmund as well.
Yeah.
confirm.
Yeah, I was happy. I don't care what people say about the Bundesliga.
Of course you do.
I don't care what people say about the Bundesliga. People say it's a bad league. But really, with regards to the Champions League race, forget the title race. Bayern are just too good in the Bundesliga at the moment. But we're not good enough in Champions League. Not really. Yeah, Levy is the top. Levy is the top scorer in the Bundesliga, but Levy hasn't scored in the last couple of games. Actually, he scored against Mainz. He scored against Mainz. He didn't score in the 2-2 draw. I think it was Muller and Nabry. Muller, Nabry, Coleman, Musiala, Kimmich are sort of like the main ones who score if it's not Levy. So Bayern do have a lot of players that can score, so it's not all Levy. With teams like with United, it's completely different. With United, the only player who scores for United at the minute is Ronaldo. Statistically, in the last 6 since the Norwich game, including the Norwich game, the last couple of games from Norwich onwards, including Norwich, we have scored in total 7 goals. No, 8 goals. I'm trying to think. 3-0 against. So 3 against Norwich, 1 against Chelsea, none against Liverpool, 3 against Brentford. Didn't score any against Brighton. Is there anyone else I've missed out? I'm pretty sure. To win the Champions League. Yeah, they don't do that. Couldn't score against Rangers in either leg. Rangers at the minute are a top quality side in Europe. They've caused a lot of shocks by getting to the. I don't think anyone had them to get to the Europa League finals. But, they've been magnificent. So fair play to them. So let's have a look. So Norwich, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Brentford, 3, 4, 5. So. So the Norwich game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the last 6 games for United, the last 6 games against Norwich, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Brentford, and Brighton. Very tough one for us. We've scored in total 8 goals, and we've conceded.
Conceded?
14 goals. Now, guess how many of those goals that we've... Guess how many of the 8 goals that we've scored have been scored by Ronaldo?
5.
6.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
6. Wow. I mean, I guess it's not surprising. Is it?
Without Ronaldo, the only people who've scored are Bruno and Varane, and that was against Brentford. Without
that's
Ronaldo,
shocking,
we'd
isn't
have
it,
lost to Norwich. We got tonked at Liverpool anyway.
I saw somewhere
We'd have
which
lost
said
3-0 at Arsenal. We'd have lost to Chelsea. We'd have drawn against Brentford.
I saw someone which said without Ronaldo this season we'd be like 10 points above the relegation zone.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case.
Oh yeah.
But
Without his goals.
To be honest, we won 58 points out of a possible. When I do the calculations, a possible. 111.
I'm gonna go.
All right, yeah, I'll come on to yours in a moment. We're one at the moment. We're on 58 points out of a bye. We're on 58 points out of a possible 111 points. Brighton are on 47 points. So they're only 11 points behind us. They win the next 2 games. Actually, no. If you win your next 2 games and Wolves lose their next games, you could actually finish 8th. And I think the rule would be is you would get European football because Liverpool or Chelsea would win the FA Cup.
Well, of course, I've already looked into
if that's still the case.
I've already looked into that, and in no case, in any season, does 8th place get European football. So after West Ham beat Norwich on Sunday, which is obviously expected, even our slim chance of getting into Europe is now gone. Not that I thought we would. I didn't think that at all. It was just that slight chance is now completely gone. Not that I ever thought we would get there anyway. I mean, what do you expect when you're playing Norwich?
If that's the case, West Ham must have finished 7th when we won the FA Cup in 2016. Because West Ham needed us to win the FA Cup for them to get into Europe because they weren't in a European spot.
Yeah, so
I thought it went down to 8th. I thought it had gone down to 8th because you've now got the introduction of the European Conference League as well. Because 5th is Europa League and then 7th is Conference. So
I believe 5th get Europa League. Then it's FA Cup winners get Europa League, or 6th, depending on who wins it. And then 7th get Conference League, or the EFL Cup winners get Conference League, again, depending on who wins. But yeah, no extra.
Liverpool and Chelsea Liverpool, if Liverpool win it, a guaranteed Champions League anyway. Chelsea are 5 points ahead of Tottenham Hotspurs with 3 games to go. Spurs have to play Arsenal. So Chelsea win the next game, they go 8 points ahead of Spurs if Spurs lose. So if Chelsea and Arsenal win the next game, then Chelsea are definitely guaranteed to finish in the top 4. So come the Arsenal Spurs game, if Spurs lose, then Chelsea were practically going to be guaranteed Champions League football. So I was thinking it was whoever wins the FA Cup will be in the Champions League anyway. So that's what I was thinking. 8th place would probably get into Europe because at the minute the table at the moment is the 5th and 6th place, which is Tottenham and United, into the Europa League group stage. 7th place West Ham will be into the Europa Conference League qualification. So It's very confusing, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, I think at the moment,
because I wondered if they'd changed it, because I know it used to be 7th got European football, but
I think before the Conference
Probably
League,
not
that was what it
changed.
was.
yeah, because that'll have been before, but I don't know if they'd. I wasn't sure if they had changed it. Also, they may have changed it because no Russian teams are allowed in it now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because they've kicked out all the Russian teams from the European competition. So, you if you finish 8th, you might. You never know. But Wolves, by the way, if Wolves win, and I hope this doesn't happen, but if West Ham win the next game, which is against City, they are level with us. No, they're not. They are ahead of us on goal difference. And if Wolves win their final 3 games, they will go above United on goal difference. So at the end of the season, if we don't get anything at Crystal Palace and Wolves and West Ham win their remaining games, we'll be out of Europe.
Well, there's an 8-point gap between Wolves and United, so I doubt that's going to happen. I mean, the maximum Wolves can get now is 59.
United have got Crystal Palace last game of the season.
Well, that's saying,
which isn't easy. So I was saying, if we lose our final game of the season, against Palace, West Ham and Wolves, both of them win their remaining games, and United lose, and United will be out of the top 7. That's
you've only got a point there, because you've only got 1 game left to play.
Yeah,
West
Ham have got 2. West Ham have got 2 games. They win their game in hand. If they win their game in hand, which is against Man City, because everyone's playing a match 37 apart from Man United, which I don't understand. But either way, the top 5 league only get one Conference League place. Right. Thanks for clearing that up then. So there's the answer to the question then. But yeah, I've worked out, because United's goal difference is +1. West Ham's is +11, and Wolves is +1. So if we lose the final game at Crystal Palace, West Ham and Wolves win their remaining games, which I don't think will happen, mind, against City. I don't think West Ham will beat City, but if it does happen and they both win every single game and we don't beat Crystal Palace, then we're out of the top 7. So that's worst case scenario. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I was going to get onto the EFL season, and I was going to talk about that, but I've run out of time actually, because I need to get onto Liam's channel for the Sheffield Wednesday game. So we'll most likely talk about that next week. Probably when obviously next week we'll find out. By next week we'll find out who's in the League One playoff final, and then I don't know if we'll find out. I think we'll probably find out the League 2 and the Championship in the next few weeks. Should be back next week, all being well. I will let you know in due course. But we are going to end it there. I will change the title as well, because we were meant to be talking about the EFL's season finishing, but I got distracted and we ended up talking about United being in a bad position. So I got distracted myself there. But thanks everyone for joining. Hope you all enjoyed it anyway. As usual, thanks lads for joining us. I'll be on to Liam's stream in a moment, so go over there. I'll just very quickly, if anyone wants to watch the watch along for the game, which is the Sheffield Wednesday Sunderland playoff second leg, I'll just put the link in the live chat here. So click on that link. Come and join me and Liam for the Sheffield Wednesday game. I'll see you all on there. Cheers, lads, for joining. I'll see you all again on Saturday for the FA Cup final. But until then, have a good day. Bye.
Right.
Bye.